The information in this video is brought to you by University of Vermont Extension, with funding from the Northeast Center for Risk Management Education, through a grant from the United States Department of Agriculture.
Hello, my name is Jesse Richardson. I am an attorney at West Virginia University College of Law. In this segment of the Transferring the Farm video series, I will be addressing the issue of liability insurance for new and transitioning farmers and the need to protect the farm business. Many times we see younger farmers moving into farm management and ownership without being aware of farm liability issues and the added liability that new enterprises, especially new products, farm markets, and agritourism, can involve. In addition, since many older farmers tend to be underinsured, it is important for the younger generation to assess insurance needs and recognize the need for additional insurance if other activities are being considered. Everything you do in life involves risk, from driving to the store to inviting friends to your house for a cookout. One may address risk in 4 different ways: avoid it, reduce it, accept it, or transfer it to another party, namely an insurance company. The best options are to avoid risk that is easily avoided and reduce risk. If, for example, having go-kart races on your farm is dangerous and not profitable, don't do it. Risk may be reduced by taking steps to make the farm operation as safe as reasonably possible. For example, you should train workers and periodically inspect areas that the public is using for hazards. We all accept some level of risk, but most of us usually purchase an insurance policy to transfer some of the risk to the insurance company. However, insurance companies are not required to accept any risk. The greater the risk, the greater the cost of the policy. Occasionally, a risk is too great even for an insurance company to bear. In these cases, the farmer can best avoid any financial risk of loss by abstaining from that activity altogether. Liability insurance refers to coverage for injury to another person or damage to another person's property for which you are legally responsible. In today's business world, virtually every business should be covered by a liability insurance policy. In addition to paying any covered claims up to the limits of liability, liability insurance pays defense costs, including attorney's fees, for covered events. For automobile liability protection, you purchase auto insurance. For homeowner liability protection, you purchase homeowner insurance. For agricultural entrepreneurs, the exposure to legal risk increases with each step taken to grow your agricultural business. Therefore, it is critical to think about, talk about, and purchase the right liability insurance protection. Are you thinking about adding a market activity, selling directly to consumers, or agritourism? A farm owner liability policy generally provides coverage for production activities and operation of roadside stands and farm markets that sell farm products produced on the site. The sale of raw products is generally covered, but not processed items. For example, sale of apples is covered, while the sale of apple cider is not. Something as simple as slicing a cantaloupe can be considered processing. Likewise, sale of products off-site at a farmer's market or other location is generally not covered. Other products, even produced on the farm, may not be covered. Agritourism activities, even a corn maze, equine activities, and other non-production activities are also generally not covered. For activities that fall outside the coverage of the farm owner policy, additional policies or amendments to the farm owner policy must be purchased. A general liability policy can be used to cover agritourism or retail sales activities. A special event policy is required for fairs, carnivals, haunted houses, or other events of short duration. If you have a website to market your products, you should consider a cyber liability policy. If you have employees, a workers' compensation policy may be required by law. Are you thinking of selling raw milk? In some states, insurance companies will not insure raw milk sales. If uncertain, ask your insurance agent. Never assume that you are automatically covered. How much liability insurance should you have? The typical lawyer's answer applies. It depends. If you have substantial assets, more liability insurance protects those assets. If your business is particularly risky, you should have more insurance. The most important factor to consider what makes you feel comfortable and allows you to sleep well. In no case, however, should your coverage amount be less than $1 million. And in any case, it is important to make sure that your insurance agent knows what activities you are conducting on your property as you take over farm management, and make sure that your policy covers those activities. If the agent does not know that you are, for example, allowing guests at your bed and breakfast to ride your horses, you are probably not covered. Whenever you discuss coverage issues, get the response from your agent in writing, which can include an email. Keep this documentation in your file in case you need it later. Another key point is to make sure the appropriate people are covered under the policy. If you own the land in a limited liability company, for example, the limited liability company should be the name insured, and all owners of the LLC should be additional insureds, along with all of the spouses. All of these parties may be sued if an accident happens and need protection. I've been told that I only sell $800 worth of heirloom tomatoes each year. I can't afford insurance. While I understand and sympathize with that sentiment, if you can't afford liability insurance, you can't afford to be in business. The lawsuit will not ask for $800 in damages. The damages may be in the millions. Can you afford to risk losing your farm in case of an incident? In conclusion, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. The best way to protect you and your assets is to take steps to prevent accidents from happening. Safety should be in everyone's job description. However, accidents happen, even in the safest operations. Therefore, it is essential that you have liability insurance adequate to protect you, your family, and your growing farm business. As you take over the farm business, you are also responsible to protect your assets and your family. Don't forget this privilege that comes with farm ownership. For assistance on assessing your liability risk, be sure to discuss issues with your insurance agent. Your local extension specialist is a good source for information on farm insurance agents. Be sure to check with other videos available at our website.